going to talk about the 404 Jeffery. 404 Jeffery cartridge. This is a 404 Jeffery virgin cartridge case. I became interested in the 404 Jeffery and various calibers built off of this back in about back in about 1980 or so. But I didn't have the time available until a couple of years later, till in about 1983, I developed several cartridges based off the 404 Jeffery case. And the 404 Jeffery case does not have a belt. It's a little bit bigger case on the head than the Magnum case. The Magnum case, the diameter at the rim is normally somewhere around about 530, 531. The 404 Jeffery case is 540 on the head, just ahead of the extractor groove. The rim is also 540. This is a fairly large capacity case, and anyway, after having developed various cartridges off the 404 Jeffery case, a number of years later, Remington came out with a line of cartridge called the Ultramags. The 7mm, the 300, and the 338, and the 375 Ultramags. And right off the bat, they claimed that this was based off of the 404 Jeffery case. Well, this is nothing short of a lie. The 404 Jeffery case is 540 on the head, ahead of the extractor groove. The Remington Ultra cases are 545. That is a case that's 5 thousandths larger than the 404 Jeffery. That makes it, should be very evident that it is not a 404 Jeffery case because it's a different size. A chamber cut for a 404 Jeffery back here at the head, about 2/10 of an inch ahead of the base of the case, will measure 545. Well, you can't put a Remington 545 Ultra case in a 545 chamber. This should be quite evident, but it's not evident to people that have said, the main people that have said are our current crop of gun writers, writing for all sorts of magazines that don't understand what they're talking about. I think where this all started, I think when it all began, somebody got a hold of a fired 404 Jeffery case that was expanded back here at the expansion ring portion of the head, which would have been expanded to 545 in a properly chambered chamber. So they ran with that dimension, stating that it was a 404 Jeffery. The Ultramag has never been based off the 404 Jeffery. A chamber cut for the Ultramag at that same place on the head, 2/10 of an inch ahead of the base of the case, is going properly chambered barrel, is going to measure 550. Well, it should be quite obvious that we've got two different dimensions, two different cases. A 540 case, a 545 chamber, a 545 case, a 550 chamber. So everybody has mimicked everybody and said that it was a 404 Jeffery, the 300 Ultra. I want to make it abundantly clear that it's not a 404 Jeffery case. It is something similar to it. It's oversized. Now, let's just take, for instance, for a second, say that we want to make some cases for something based off the 404 Jeffery that's chambered for 404 Jeffery chamber dimensions. With a 545 chamber at the back end, we can't put a 300 Ultra 545 case in a 545 chamber. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. The chamber's got to be 550. Likewise, if we take 404 Jeffery cases, I wanted to fire them to fit an ultra mag chamber. These cases would expand now 5 thousandths over what they should be allowed to expand to 550 back here at the head. This is excessive expansion back here at the head. This should make it very evident, but it doesn't seem to make it evident to people that are constantly saying what I am repeating and repeating, and I'm purposely repeating this because it's not based off the 404 Jeffery. This is totally nothing but misinformation. And I've been chambering rifles for almost every conceivable caliber since 1969. I've been chambering virtually anything dimensionally based off the 404 Jeffery since in 1983, and ever since the Ultra Mags came out, I've been chambering for everything made on the Ultra Mag, even Wildcats. A lot of this stuff is Wildcats, but we've got a lot of different cartridge cases. We got a lot of different calibers that are based off the 30-06 case. Now, you couldn't take a case that was 5-6 thousandths larger back here at the head than the 30-06 case and claim that the case that you're using is based off the 30-06 case. But that's exactly what's being done here and has been done with the older mag aspect in relation to the 404 Jeffery. I've wrote to several gun magazines, never got answers back correcting them. These people seem to think that they have the in on the knowledge. The experience and the real knowledge lies in the gun shops, such as myself, such as my gun shop, where this is what I do from day to day to day. Build rifles for all sorts of different chamberings. You have to understand all the technical aspects of this. People that are writing about this don't understand the technical aspects of it, or they wouldn't be stating what they're stating. So, again, I want to say, this has to be put out here and corrected. I get phone calls, I get emails from people. Well, I want this, I want that, I want such and such based, off the 404 Jeffery case, and they're talking, what they're really talking about is the Ultra Mag. So I have to try to explain to these people. And since they've read Misinformation, it's a little bit hard to correct misinformation. But that's what I'm doing here, is correcting misinformation. Misinformation, because in certain instances it could be considerably serious if we don't understand the full perimeters involved with using one cartridge case trying to form it to another cartridge case, or one cartridge case fired in some other chamber that's not made for that case. There are problems to be encountered with all these aspects. So all these technical areas, all these specific dimensions, need to follow these dimensions. Many years ago, people were attempting to make 6.5 by 55 cases off of 30-06 cases. Well, that case is 6 to 8 thousandths larger, depending on whose brass that you buy, than the 30-06 case. Well, people quick found out that their 30-06 cases, which were way too small, that were formed in a die and fired in a 6.5 by 55 chamber, actually explained this probably 45 years ago to people. That's not what you did, that was excessive expansion. People caught on that long ago. Well, we've come quite a ways since that point in time, but evidently we haven't come very far, because now we got and have had and will continue to have gun writers that are misstating what the Ultra Mag is based off, and it's not off of the 404 Jeffery case any more than the 6.5 by 55 was based off of a 30-06 case. I actually corrected that many years ago. I'm doing the same thing. I'm correcting this situation that has needed to have been corrected a good dozen or 15 years ago when this stuff first came up. But anyway, that's what it is.